Hi, in this video we're going to be looking at completing the square. First of all, we need to be able to expand double brackets quickly. There's lots of different techniques to expand double brackets. We've got foil, we've got wraparound. I'm going to be using wraparound because it's my favourite. So I'm going to put the X over here, I'm going to put the +1 over here out the way. I'm going to put my second bracket there and there at the same time. So in there you've got an X plus 1. So in here you've got an X plus 1 and also an X plus 1. We've now got two single brackets. So what's X times by X? That is X squared. X times by 1 is 1X. There we go, there's that one done. And over here you've got X times by 1, which is also 1X, and 1 times by 1, which is +1. My final answer would be, we've got 1X squared, we've got 2 X's, so therefore I've got 2 X's, and I've got a +1 at the end. Now there is a very quicker way to do that, to be fair. What happens if it looks like this? So that is essentially X plus 2 times by itself, which is X plus 2. I'm now going to show you a shortcut technique that will work, and this only works if the brackets are identical. So if this was a +2 and this was a +3, it wouldn't work. It only works if they are identical brackets. Here we go, here's my shortcut technique. I am going to square this value, because I'll always get that. So I've got X squared, easy. I'm actually going to double this value. So at the moment it's a +2, so I'm going to double that, so it's going to be a +4, and it's an X. So there we go, it's been doubled. And I also have to square this number. Squaring means times by itself, so what's +2 times by +2 is +4. It's just a quicker way to do it, and that's definitely going to help us when we're completing the square. Let's try a few more. Right, so I'm going to square that value, so I've got X squared. I'm going to double that value, so it's +6X, and I'm going to square that value, which would be +9. It's that simple. This one, we've got X squared. -4 doubled is -8X, and -4 squared, -4 times by -4 is +16. X squared, double 5 is +10X, and +5 squared is +25. X squared, -8 doubled is -16X, and -8 squared is +64. Right, your turn. Have a go, pause the video here. You've got 5 questions. Can you give me the 3 pieces of information that have come away from these? Okay, here come the answers. Hopefully you got them right. Remember, this is always double the value of that one. This is always the square value once you've squared that number in there. If I was going to work backwards, I know that this is always half the value of that. As you can see, -7 is half of -14. 10 is half of 20. That's going to become very useful in the next bit. Okay, here we go then. So completing the square. What we're going to try and do is we're going to try and create one of those double brackets from this information. Now, the first 2 parts are going to be really, really easy. For example, I know that if I was going to create a double bracket, I know that this is going to have to be an X, and this value here is always double the number inside. So because it's a 2, I'm halving that value, and that's going to be a +1. Now, before I go any further, I'm actually going to expand this. I'm going to ignore this section for the time being. I'm just going to expand my X plus 1 squared, because this is what it would usually give me. So I'd have X squared, I'd double that value, which would be 2X. But if I squared that number, I actually get +1. So as you can see, that's good. I like that because that's the same. That's good, that's the same. However, the +5 and the +1 are not the same. I've got to get rid of this. I don't want this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my question out again. So this time it's X plus 1. I'm loving this bit. This bit's good. I want to get rid of that. So I'm going to do the opposite of it. So I'm going to take away 1. But then I need to make sure I still use this +5. I know it looks messy, but that's the technique that you have to do. Here is my final answer. I've got X plus 1 all squared minus 1 plus 5 is positive 4. That is now what we call a completed the square form. Let's try another one. Okay, so the first two bits are going to be fairly straightforward. I know that that's going to be an x and a positive 3. Remember, I need to half that value or double this value to get the 6. Let's ignore that for time being and let's expand this. That would give me x squared. Double this number would give me positive 6x. Squaring this number would give me positive 9. As you can see, they're slightly different. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off again with the x plus 3. I like that bit. I'm going to get rid of this 9 by taking away 9, doing the opposite of it. But I need to make sure that we still use our positive 4. My final answer would be x plus 3 all squared minus 9 plus 4 is minus 5. That is now in completed the square form. Let's try another. So this time, how do I get x squared plus 4x? That would definitely have to be x positive 2. If I expanded that, I would get the x squared that I want. I would get the plus 4x that I want, but if I squared this number, I actually get positive 4. So I like that. I like that, I don't like that because they're different. So I'm going to have x plus 2 all squared. That gives me my first two parts. Then I want to get rid of this positive 4, so let's do the opposite of it and bring in this back into play. So all I need to do now, final answer, x plus 2 all squared minus 4 take away 5 is negative 9. And there's our answer. Fairly straightforward technique, really. It's more of a memory question. So how do I get a minus 10x? So the x definite, and to get minus 10, I would usually have to double minus 5. Right, what would that usually give me then? So that would usually give me the x squared. Double minus 5 would give me the minus 10x, but minus 5 squared would give me positive 25. Again, they're not the same, so we're going to try and solve that now. So that's going to be x negative 5 all squared. Let's get rid of the 25, so take away 25, and make sure we don't forget about the minus 5 over here. Final answer, x minus 5 all squared minus 25, take away another 5 is negative 30. Hopefully you're following what I'm doing, it's actually quite straightforward. Right, x squared minus 12x, so that's going to be x obviously. How do you get minus 12? Well, that'll be minus 6 all squared. Don't forget about this squared, very important that part. So x squared, obvious, minus 6 doubled with minus 12, so both of those bits are exactly what we want. But minus 6 squared would give me positive 36. We don't want that. Okay, so let's go again. Let's go x minus 6, that's the bit we want, all squared. Get rid of this 36, so minus 36, but then positive 7. We don't want to forget about that piece of information. So my final answer again would be x minus 6, all squared, minus 36, positive 7, so going back towards 0 would be minus 29. And there is my completed the square form. Okay, it's your turn to have a go. Pause the video here, get yourself a piece of paper and a pen. Have a go as many questions as you possibly can, and the answers will be on the board in a couple of seconds. Good luck. Okay, here come the answers. Hopefully you got them right. Remember, this technique is more of a memory technique, and in my next video I'm going to show you what we can now do with the completed state form. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you've learned something.